So we got some big news in Diablo 4 today in the form of a developer live stream. It's kind of an update type deal they've been doing once a month, but this one was a little interesting. It was Diablo Immortal and Diablo 4 together. First time we've seen that, but anyway, let's get into the seasons. They talked about season 1 for Diablo 4, the mechanics, the content, season journey, stuff like that. So let's get into it and see what we're fixing to have to play with. How about it, y'all? You got Hawg. I'm your Southern Diablo 4 resource. Thanks for stopping by. If you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. We got some pretty decent content over here for you. So let's talk about Season of the Malignant. Okay, so this is the Season 1 for Diablo 4. It starts on July 20th. During the live stream, pretty much went over everything. Well, not everything. You know, they were pretty vague about a couple things, but they went over what to expect, at least, and what not to expect. So what did we learn from the developer live stream? Diablo Immortal got a new class. I thought that was really off-putting. That's really why they did the dual live stream like this, because they wanted all the Diablo 4 players to see the new character in Diablo Immortal. So I guess they thought we would all go over there and play that, even though I don't really know anybody that plays that game at all. Okay, so I felt that was a little odd considering all the stuff we're needing. I know there's 2 separate teams, maybe, but I just thought it was a little weird. This game just came out. We should be getting all the attention, whatever. They talked about the seasonal theme and mechanics. They talked about new content and the battle pass, obviously. Some things that we needed to do for kind of preparation for the season launch in Diablo 4. And we learned that they sold us a foundation. So we'll just go ahead and touch on this right now. Yeah, Mr. Piora, I think his name is Joe. Hell, I don't really remember his name. Anyway, he wanted to manage expectations. They've been saying that a lot. It reminds me of very corporate. You know, when I worked in the corporate world, they always talked about managing expectations, and things are slow, and you know, there's about 30 million zillion people that have to be involved, and they have to have their hand in the cookie jar, so they get a pat on the back from their boss and show people they can be promoted. And it's just a big mess when you got all these people involved. The bigger something is, the bigger mess it can be. So what they told us was, this is a foundation. They finally kind of came out and admitted it. I don't know if they really meant to do that, but they admitted that they sold us a foundation of a game, and then they're going to continue to build on this for years. So the analogy that I use is, imagine buying a house. A full-blown, you know, here comes the builder. He says, hey, here's a house. Big old house, 3-bed, 2-bath. It's badass. It's everything you need. It's got some new features you've never seen before. It's got new this, new that. Then you buy it, and it's just a concrete slab. And they say, well, this is, you know, we're working on this, and it's a growth process, and that house right there took 10 years to build. You know, don't worry about that house. You know, we're worried about this. It's a journey. Grow with us. So that was real disappointing to hear. I just wanted, you know, I understand things take time. Like I said, my dad's a software engineer. He programs, so I do have a little bit of understanding with the basics of stuff. Yeah, you know, like, I understand some things take time, but some things shouldn't take that much time. And so they basically just set our expectations, cool down. That's basically what they said. Be prepared for a long journey of updates in the form of seasons and expansions. Now, season theme content. Okay. Like I said, it comes out July 20th. The patch actually drops July 18th. So what that means is, on July 18th, you will see a patch being downloaded in the client, the Blizzard client. That will be the game patch. There's going to be balances. It's going to be new items. It's going to be all kind of stuff coming in that patch. The non-seasonal tunes, characters, tunes, and everyone hates when I say that. It's just a lot easier for me to say, y'all. I'm sorry. Sometimes it just flows a lot easier. All of the non-seasonal, the Eternal Realm players, how about that, will have access to the seasonal patch on the 18th. So we can all play with the new uniques and whatever else they're going to give us on that day. Okay. Basically, the season theme was zombies without them calling it zombies. The reason I say that is Everything was kind of, they said like a hungry, monsters are hungry and they're afflicted by this thing inside it's trying to get out. And to me, that's zombies. So they didn't say zombies, but I'm going to say zombies, okay? They showed us a trailer. Everybody's seen that. They introduced us to this goofy guy that needs help.
I need help.
I forget his name. I don't care. That's, to me, that's not new content. I don't care about a new NPC. And there's a new, kind of, what they told us is this seasonal story content that we're getting will in no way, shape, or form be related to the events of Diablo. Like, this happens after the Diablo 4 stuff has happened. This is just after side stuff. So it's basically just its own invented stuff that ties in no way, shape, or form with the lore that we've, which I'm just going to be honest, and y'all can not like this opinion if you want to, but the lore in D4 doesn't make any sense. I'm still sitting here trying to figure out, like, yeah, I saw them videos and how it tied together and the tree of this and that and all this, but I've been playing the game for 20 plus years. And so to me, it doesn't tie in with what I'm used to in the other 2 games or 3 games. I always forget about D1. None of that, I mean, there's no Dark Wanderer, there's no World Stone, none of this makes any sense at all. So now we get additional storyline content that doesn't relate to Diablo whatsoever. It's just, here's this new guy, and the evil's got him, and he's scared, and he needs help. That's all we know so far. Malignant mechanic. So there's a couple of things related to the season malignant heart type deal. So you're going to have malignant monsters that when you kill them, they spawn another pack of malignant monsters that buff each other. And then when you kill them, they drop a malignant heart. And there's different levels of the malignant heart. There's a vicious heart. And each one's got a different color, which corresponds to different color sockets. Path of Exile, excuse me. I got a little tickle in my throat there. The sockets on all the items have different colors, like red, yellow, green, blue. Path of Exile. And, or maybe not green, but I know red, yellow, blue. And those corresponding hearts that you find will actually go into those color sockets. So those hearts actually, basically another aspect, another legendary, gives you crazy, what they said was crazy powers, and lets you be powerful. To me, it really resembles, or smells like, without being able to play with it, but smells like Crucibles from Diablo 3 in Season 27. So, kind of mixed feelings. Like, I'm pretty excited to play it. I think it might be cool, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, can we get something new? Like, is that so much to ask? And I know a lot of y'all are going to be like, well, Hawg, what do you suggest they do? I didn't go to college to be a game designer. Like, that's not my job. So I don't know. But when you have all of this time, you made the previous games in the series, you had all this time to come up with something else on top of it. And I mean, y'all, to be honest, we're just getting the same stuff again. Like, if we look at the season journey layout, it's the same as Diablo 3. It's the exact same. So now we've got this extra stuff, the battle pass effects, okay? Only thing I don't like about the colored sockets is it's a lot more RNG. That's the big thing. You're going to have to be praying to RNG Jesus. Please, RNG Jesus, help me, Lord. Because now, let's say you're looking for Tempest Roar, okay? And there's more uniques and stuff that's coming, but let's just use this for an example. But you need a blue socket on there because you got a blue gem needs to go in there and whatever. This is a scenario. Well, it finally drops and y'all know it. Hell, it took me a month to find it. Finally drops and it's a yellow socket. It doesn't work with what you need. Yeah, and they weren't real clear about if you were able to change the color of that by going to the jeweler. Like, you know, you could apply sockets and it makes a random color, but they didn't say anything about re-rolling that color or anything. So yeah, I don't know. I think the hearts are pretty cool. There's going to be really high RNG on that in of itself, but to add the colored sockets on top of that, which I joke around about it, PoE, cough, and all that, it is straight out of Path of Exile for the maybe a day that I had it installed on my machine about a year or 2 years ago. That was the first thing I noticed was certain color sockets on items that certain gems could or could not go into. And so that was another aspect that was like, holy shit, this is going to be hard to find. Okay. So again, for the third or fourth time, new legendary aspects, new uniques. However, it's not just seasonal. So in Diablo 3, this stuff was locked into the season until the end of the season. Then it went to Eternal. Everyone could play with it afterward. This is different in Diablo 4. The patch extends these new items to both realms. So if you choose not to play the season, you still get the new aspects. You still get the new uniques, aka you still get access to new builds, regardless of the Malignant Heart or not. So we still, like I said, the season journey, it's a chore list. I mean, look at this one right here. Find Galavine. Like, are you kidding me right now? It's just, I hadn't looked at the whole thing. There's like 7 of them, I believe, 8 of them, something like that. Please don't go make me looking all over the map for like 500 silver ores. Like, that is, there's a fine line, you know, between trying to get people to play the season to do your battle pass and then just like kind of taking a dump on your player base. And then season blessings. So this gives you certain XP boosts or whatever, but the way that I'm understanding it, you see right here, it says unlocked at level 8. That's level 8 on the battle pass, and that's at level 40. Like they said, a lot of this stuff in the seasons locked behind level 40.
Doesn't actually unlock until you get to the level requirement.
Yeah, for like for example, like the first ash that you unlock in the battle pass is, I think it's tier 8 maybe.
Tier 8,
yeah. And it has a level 40 character requirement as an example. Just to make it really, really clear, like you will be able to use this in time, but immediately like you need to continue to progress your character and continue to level up, and then you'll be able to use that accordingly.
So you're not going to be able to use the blessings till level 40. Okay. Let's talk about the renown. So a lot of people are not listening to what they're saying. They're just automatically assuming because they said you won't have to redo it, that you don't have to redo the renown. That's not what they said. You got to listen to these corporate people. You have to be very careful on what they say. They mentioned 2 things that you will keep: Altars of Lilith and the Fog of War. For those of you that don't know what Fog of War is, that's the covering of the map where you can't see, and then when you discover it goes away. That's called Fog of War. If you've discovered all of the map and you've done all of the Altars of Lilith, that will transfer over. Now, you will start off, if you've done all your renown, you will start off with 5 skill points and 9 potions. So you'll have 3 tiers done in each area. Granted that you've done that already. You will have to rediscover areas and waypoints. And they even brought up the screen and they showed you these 2 right here. You'll have Altars of Lilith done. That will carry over. And your areas discovered will carry over.
So right now they've got 30 areas discovered, which is worth 150 renown.
Right.
So what's going to happen is in the season, I'm going to have 30 areas clear inside of Kyrgyzstan, and I will have 150 renown already in the bank. And it will have unlocked whatever 150 renown will have unlocked.
Absolutely right. Yep, absolutely right. So you're going to have that, and you're also going to have already collected all of your Altars of Lilith that you've got from your
So the same thing here. So I will have 12 will be appearing on my map immediately, and I will have 120 renown in the bank with my other 100. So I'll have 270 renown already earned, waiting for me to claim when I fire up the season.
That's absolutely correct. So these are the advantages you get to start with, and like if you look at like all of the renown you can collect from discovering all of the areas and from getting all of your Altars of Lilith, is going to get you in each of the zones, basically through the first 2 tiers, a little with a way through the 3rd tier,
right.
For each of the zones for renown. So you get to start with, like if you start at level 1 on day 1 of the new season with a brand new character, you'll start, and you've done all of this work with your previous characters and previous playthroughs. You'll have 5 skill points to play with, and then 5 extra potion charges. So you'll be at sitting at 9 potion charges.
At level 1, you'll have 5 skill points and 9 potions ready to go.
Absolutely.
Your waypoints will not carry over. You're going to have to go activate those again. So they mentioned that in the past, like the campfire chat, they did say that. Joe Shelley said that. And then you will have to do side quests, and you'll have to do dungeons to access the last part of those 2 tiers of renown for each area. You will have to do those. So it's basically you'll have to do half of the renown. Okay? It is what it is. They did tell us to manage expectation. They did say we planned on making y'all redo the whole thing. Right after they said, we play the game. No, y'all don't play the game. A, you don't have time to work that job and play the game. If you played the game, you'd realize it's too big of a time investment, and you would have immediately said no one has to redo the renown. Okay? They can play that game. They play that game with us all they want to. It's all corporate strategy. There is a strategy behind trying to milk the player base for the battle pass, money, time, whatever. Okay? It's just business. It is what it is. Okay? Don't shoot the messenger. Season mechanics, like I said last slide, are locked behind the seasonal campaign and level 40. I don't know if they misspoke about the seasonal campaign.
That you can use a little bit further on once you finish the campaign of season 1.
Tim, that new guy, he talked about doing a seasonal campaign, so I don't know if you're going to have to, like, be locked into doing some Mickey Mouse storyline regarding this guy that needs help until you can actually get done. So, like, are they basically going to make us redo the game? Because that's what the story campaign, the main campaign took us, a pretty good bit, level 40 maybe. Hopefully this, I highly doubt it's that long. But, they said campaign. So I don't know if he misspoke or what the deal is, but a lot of the mechanics and the good stuff is locked at level 4 behind level 40. The big one that they said, you will need to remember before you create your season tune to go to your highest character that's got all the stuff unlocked or whatever and log in with that character, and then you can make a new seasonal tune. So he said, I know that sounds kind of clunky. I just want to manage that right now. Like, we're trying to do it the best we can. What it screams to me is, the code's probably a mess. I mean, you've seen it when they put the patch out for the Druid uniques, and it messed with all the Hoda numbers and all on their items. It just sounds like a hodgepodge mess. Pretty typical when you have a bunch of people that leave a company, which is evident by their job postings they're looking for a bunch of senior leaders on their Diablo 4 side. When you have a mass exodus of people that leave, it leaves you in kind of a mess, and they're trying to sort a lot of that out. And that's at least what it seems like to me. Cause I remember when my dad would write a lot of software, he was trying to get an update out or something. He would just get it out there, and then he would spend another couple of days going back behind the scenes and cleaning a lot of that code up. So it'd be a lot easier to update. And I really think that's what's going on behind the scenes right now, why we're not seeing a lot of fast updates and stuff coming out. But, yeah, you have to log in, click on your regular tune, get on, and then it'll patch it over to the season automatically, and then it'll know. So that's something that they stressed a bunch of times. Make sure you do that. So the big question is, should you play the season? That's what everybody's wondering. I did a video last week about seasons, and there was a big rift between the communities. That rift still exists. There are people that are excited, and there's a lot of people that are not excited. And I understand both sides. So I'm sitting in the middle of the fence right now. I really like seasons. I like to play with the new extra things they bring out. But I'm used to doing that in Diablo 3. So I didn't play seasons seasons in Diablo 2. We're not talking about D2R. We're talking about D2. Seasons in D2R were a totally different beast. But I didn't really mess with a lot of that. I played non-season way back in the day. It's just in Diablo 2, that's a hard grind. And to start over with a new tune and that RNG and all, I understand what folks are talking about. That is a hard grind. Diablo 4 is the same way. There is a hard grind. There's a little bit of relief with the battle pass, with your seasonal boost or whatever, where you can get more XP. But you gotta think like, okay, is it worth 3 months of a new tune just to get access to the hearts that are going to go away? Whereas a non-seasonal, so an eternal character, has access to the new uniques and the new legendaries already with a fully built tune, level 100, full Paragon, doesn't have to do the Renown again, doesn't have to go do that chore list, doesn't have to do the season progress with a bunch of chores, go pick this up off the ground and go do this and go kill 500 scorpions, and like, you won't have to do all that. So I don't know, it's a hard decision. The battle pass is all cosmetic. They hammered that 10,000 times. There's no power. It's cosmetic, 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 cosmetic. Are cosmetics enough to make you abandon your tune that you know, a month in, we've just now, if you're not a super crazy player, a lot of y'all aren't even done with the campaign. So that's another thing. Excuse my voice. They said a lot of this was locked behind the campaign as well. So if you're not done with the campaign yet, you got to go start all over again. Still finish the campaign, but with a new tune and seasonal. So otherwise, you got to buckle down and do it now. Get all your renown done now. Get all that done now. You know, it's really hard. I don't know. It's hard. I did forget to mention there's a malignant dungeon also. Ooh, I forgot to mention that. That way somebody in the comments doesn't say you forgot to talk about malignant dungeons. There you go. Okay. It's just a different dungeon. It's basically just to be real. Hawg likes to be real. It's literally D3 seasons. I hate to say D3 reskin, so I'm not going to say that, but it is an adaptation of Diablo 3 seasonal content. I'm very disappointed that a AAA company with this many people, that's publicly traded, that's well known, that's industry leading, all of the above, could not take all the quality of life and lessons learned and everything from Diablo 3 and implement and expand and innovate on that. I really don't understand. I'm not trying to say the game's not good. It looks good. The mechanics are fun. You know, it's a fun game, whatever, all that, the above. It just had so much more potential, I feel like, than what we were delivered, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to be fair to the game. It's fine. But once you spend a lot of time in it, you start min-maxing and all. I mean, y'all, I'm in a little different situation than everybody else because I've, been trying to put content out about the Druid. But I just got it to where I'm really like driving the Ferrari now, and it took me a long time. So it's just, I don't know what to tell you. I guess choose for yourself what you're going to do. I'll probably dabble in a little bit, but the main thing to think about is the seasonal tunes will have access to all the same stuff that your non-seasonal tune has access to, as well as the new heart mechanics in the dungeon and the new build option that those items will provide. But you will lose those items after 3 months. So that's really something to think about. It's really something to invest in. The main aspect for me and a lot of other players, not a lot of people, but other players that are used to it, one of those things that's missing is the leaderboard. For me, a competitive something in the game allows me to look at a lot of these things over and play the season. So again, I'm not broadcasting that I'm not playing season. I'm just trying to play both sides of the fence because I'm sitting right down the middle. I can see both sides real well. I understand both sides. So that's the nice news is, at least if you don't want to play season, you're only missing out on cosmetics. And it's like a bathrobe. Look at this tunic. I mean, they were showing this bad boy off like, oh, check out this tunic. I'm like, no one cares about that bathrobe. I want a damn piece of art. Why is everything cloth? Everything's made out of cloth. Everything. Well, at least I play druids. Everything for druids made out of cloth. I want some armor, man. I want to look tight. They showed some horse armor and some other stuff, but really, why should you play the seasons? If you want the cosmetics. If you're a cosmetic transmog collector, that's why. They did say that all your transmogs that you've currently collected now will transfer over to the season, so that's good news. But if you don't want to play it, don't play it. It is play your own way. Do what you wish. I do wish you'd hit like and subscribe for me. And if you need a Discord to run with, the House of Hawg, We Ain't Mild, We Wild, links in the description below. That's a good way to find players. and get build guides and share builds with other people. And we got a bunch of theory crafters over there, a bunch of really good players that will help you get carries and all that. So just come on in, introduce yourself. There's tons of resources over there. It's everything you could ever want and more. Okay. I know there's not a big group finder, or there's no group finder in Diablo 4, which is really disappointing, but that'll help you out. So jump over there, and we'd love to see you and hang out with you. So anyway, I appreciate y'all. We'll see you next time.